Hello everyone, welcome to Virtue of Tech, and if you're struggling to find the best microphone for your setup that's within your budget, you aren't alone. I still haven't figured out what the best microphone, what the best setup is for me, but Fifine have been kind enough to send me the AM8 and the AM6 to test out and to compare, see how they stack up against one another. The microphone that I currently have in front of me is the Fifine AM8, and I've also got the Fifine AM6. Both these microphones, despite the naming convention, they are targeted towards different users, different type of individuals. Different microphones work for different people. They work for different rooms, different acoustics, and different voices as well. So just before we start jumping into the actual audio quality, I did want to quickly just show you the mics. This is the AM8. You do have a thread over here. It's a double thread for 5/8 and 3/8 inch threads, as well as the combo USB port and an XLR port, as well as a headphone jack for monitoring your audio. Both microphones do support that, and you can use the USB-C and the XLR outputs simultaneously. On the back, you've got a touch-sensitive mute button, and then you've also got a gain control, as well as a headphone monitoring control, and then also a touch-sensitive button for activating, deactivating, and just cycling through the RGB. You do have this foam cover as well, which and then you've got this metal grill around it. This is a dynamic microphone, which does come with an included desk stand, so you can stick this onto the yoke mount. But with a dynamic microphone, you ideally do want to be using it with a boom arm, with Fifine recommending a distance for about 2 to 6 inches from your mouth. Taking a look at the Fifine AM6, this one has like a more of a cylindrical round look to it. You've got a mixer on the front. The AM8 doesn't have this, so with this, if you're talking to your friends, you can make the chat louder. If your friends are talking too much, you can just make the game louder or just completely silence them. This is really useful to have, especially in intense gaming moments. And then on the side, you've also got the gain as well as the headphone monitoring volume. On the back, you've got noise cancellation. You've got a RGB button, and then you've also got a headphone jack for monitoring and gameplay audio. And then you've got a yoke mount. On the back, you've got the USB Type-C, and yeah, also comes included with a pop shield as well, and a included desk mount. With this one, this is a condenser microphone, so Fifine are recommending a distance of, you can go as far as 12 inches from you, and it's more sensitive, so it will still hear you clearly. So let's jump into the audio test. The microphone that I currently have in front of me does have a dynamic capture, which means it focuses more on the mids and the lows. This emphasis on the mid frequencies gives you that deeper radio voice that a lot of us love and adore. And this is perfect for you if you just want to sound like a pro with as little post-processing as possible. Condenser mics, on the other hand, they pick up a higher, more broader frequency range. You can tell from my voice actually. This is closer to my natural sounding voice, and I don't have a great voice. But when it comes to post-processing and editing, especially if you're a singer as well, you may prefer this because it just gives you more control in editing, and this is closer to my natural sounding voice. And depending on whether you're using an audio receiver or even if you're doing it through software, you can always play around with the equalizer and with the compression as well. So a condenser microphone like the AM6 is for more detailed recordings. Condenser capsules are also more sensitive as well because they do require phantom power, which typically means it can also pick up more ambient sound, more background noise, compared to the AM8, which has the dynamic capsule, less sensitive to background noises. These are both cardioid, so they have a cardioid pickup pattern, so they are focusing more on what's directly in front of them. But we'll check out the noise rejection in a bit. So I was just editing out my video and just okay, and I did pick up on this humming sound in the background, and it was more apparent in the dynamic microphone, the AM8. I thought maybe something wrong with my setup, but I noticed it in both USB mode and on XLR mode as well, and I'm like, that's a bit odd. I thought maybe it's some sort of noise, and I thought maybe it's my fans. So I do have studio lighting. I've got 2 of them, and they do have a fan. It makes a very quiet sound. It's a type of sound, but it's pretty quiet, and it's taking up that background sound. It's picking it up, and it's just making it deeper. And yeah, I just wanted to show you if you are noticing that throughout the rest of the review. It becomes more obvious if you are wearing headphones. You can edit this out. It should be pretty easy to edit out, but for the review, like I said, I didn't really want to be playing around with that. I just wanted to show you how it just sounds. So I'm just going to turn off these studio lights. It's going to go dark, but then you should. So yeah, I have just turned off my studio lights, and I know it's gone really dark, but I think that humming sound, it is gone now. So it is just coming from the studio lights, and it's more obvious with this dynamic mic than it is with the other condenser mic, because the dynamic mic is just making it deeper. But either case, you can edit this out quite easily in your post-processing software. The other part to consider as well is whether you want a USB microphone or whether you want a XLR microphone. USB microphones like the AM6 really just plug and play. Yeah, it just takes one USB cable, powers it, lights it up with this fancy RGB lighting, and that's just enough just to send audio directly to your computer. If you do want to play around with the equalizer, you want to add compression, the Fifine AM6 doesn't really have the software for something like that, but you can use third-party software to do that either in real time, or you can edit it out in post-processing as well. And chat applications like OBS and even video editing softwares like DaVinci Studio as well. There's tons and tons of options there just to customize the voice, add in effects, and make all your adjustments there. The Fifine AM8, on the other hand, is actually a combo microphone, so it does have a USB output as well as an XLR output, and you can use them both at the same time, which this gets me really excited because it means that you can use this microphone on X through your mobile phone, formerly Twitter. I don't know how many of you actually use X-Space or listen to conversations happening over at X-Space, but on X-Space, if you want to talk during one of those call sessions, you can't do it on a desktop, on a PC. You can only talk if you're on a mobile phone. And the amount of people that are using those headphone microphones and those little wire microphones, or just these really, really terrible microphones during Twitter Spaces, it's just horrendous. And some of these people do have proper microphones, but they're not setting it up to use with their with their phone. So having something like this with a combo USB and XLR that you can use simultaneously, it does mean you can have this hooked up to your phone. So if you are on a X-Space call or some sort of app on your phone to talk to someone, liaise with someone, podcast with someone, or whatever you're doing, you can also plug in the XLR connector into your audio receiver and record the original sound, so you have a backup, or if you want to convert it into a podcast or re-upload it somewhere else, you've got the original non-compressed high quality file to play around with as well. So yeah, I just find that really, really cool. And the other thing with XLR is right now this microphone, I'm going to be switching between USB and XLR. I will be labeling that somewhere down below, but in USB mode is unprocessed, and this is just how it sounds, just straight off the box. Straight out of the box, just plugged in. But for XLR, the audio interface that I have is really designed for podcasting, so it does have this built-in equalizer where it would do some real-time processing on a hardware level, and I do have a little bit of an equalizer on there just to give my voice a bit more bass, a little less treble, just I think I sound better like this. And I've also got a bit of compression on as well, just to help normalize my voice a bit, so there's no bouncing around. Basically, it just evens it out. And yeah, this is one of the nice things with a audio interface. If you are looking to upgrade to one later on, it's all the controls. Whether if you get a more expensive audio interface as well, it lets you control the low pass, the high pass, and do all sorts of fancy effects. One of the things that I can also show you since I'm here is just the noise cancellation. So I've got a mechanical keyboard over here. It's a bit loud, but let me just show you how this sounds. So condenser capsule, I think the gain is about 40-45%, somewhere around there. Just so right now I'm talking to you, and you can just see how it will sound, how good it is at rejecting background noise. Of course, you would get better results if you reduce the gain and then you get closer to the microphone as well. And then the AM8 with the dynamic capsule, talking more or less the same, making noises on my keyboard, and this is how it sounds. And software-wise, OBS is really, really good at, so if you are streaming, OBS is pretty good at removing background noises, especially keyboard noises like this. And even NVIDIA has RTX voice, which you can turn on. AMD also have their own voice reduction software as well, just to help eliminate background noise, which is great if you're streaming or whatnot. Just makes your audio sound cleaner. Jumping back to the AM6. Who is this microphone really for? The way that I see it, the AM6 is a great little microphone if you're just a gamer. It does come with an included desk stand as well. The one for the AM6 is smaller, and the one for the AM8 is bigger. They're both weighted, so they'll keep your mic in place. But the AM6, what I found with the AM6, very similar with the AM8 as well, but with the AM6, I think it's a really nice mic to have if you're going to use it on the desk with the included desk stand. It's very versatile. You don't even need a boom arm for it. Again, it's advisable to get a boom arm, but if you're on a really, really strict budget, then just using the microphone with the included desk stand, just have it there on your desk. It works a treat, no problem. The AM6 also comes with a desk stand. You can use it just fine with a desk stand. You do need to crank up the gain a little if you do want to use it with a desk stand, but it still sounds pretty good. But again, when you are cranking up the gain, then you do end up getting more noise, more of that static sound, the higher you crank up the gain. So there's something to bear in mind, but still works really well on the desk with the included desk stand. So I've got the AM8 over here, and this is I'm going to be testing this when it's USB, because if you're using it on a desk with the included desk stand, you're probably using it with USB. If you don't want to get a boom arm and you just want to use it as is, this is how the microphone sounds just on my desk. And if I do start using the keyboard as well, this is basically how it sounds. Of course, better to get the microphone as close as possible, but the gain, yes, one thing that I do want to bring up is the gain. If you are using it on the desk, you probably want to crank up the gain as high as possible, which I'm going to do now. So the gain is now at its max. It's as high as it can go, and it's on the desk. This is how I sound by USB. This is how I sound if I was playing games and I was really enjoying myself. The AM6, I'm also going to crank up the gain all the way. And, that same position. There you go. Keep it over here. Just move this one away. And now this is how I sound with the AM6. And I'm gaming. And yeah, I think you can already tell I sound much clearer. It's easier to hear me. And yeah, it sounds better, a lot better if you are, because it is a condenser capsule. It's more sensitive. So it sounds really good if you're further away. The AM8 sounds fine if you're further away as well. But, AM6 sounds a bit nicer if you're further away. The way that I see it, the AM8 is for you if you're starting off, you're an entry-level streamer, broadcaster, you're starting off, you want a good budget microphone just to get you started. And as you grow, as your followings grow, you get followers, you get people tuning in, you start growing, then you can upgrade to a audio interface, plug in that XLR cable, you get more control. Maybe you can make yourself sound better. One of the things that I did want to say, this microphone does sound better with the dynamic capsule that the microphone does have more potential. So if you do plug it into an XLR audio receiver, you're going to sound better. You're going to get more control as well, more customizability in real time. If you're just a gamer and you just want to game, you're not streaming, you're not looking to live stream, you're not looking to do voiceovers or do podcasting, you just want a microphone so your mates that you're playing games with, your squad, can hear you better, the AM6 is a great option. And because of the condenser capsule that's more sensitive, it's gonna pick up your voice louder. It's gonna pick up your voice more clearly, which I think is really, really important. You know, when you're in a competitive environment, when you're playing games with your friends. The AM6 also has a more gaming orientated feature as well. It's got a built-in chat balancer on the front for game and chat. So if you're playing a game and you want the game to be louder, you want your friends on Discord to be quieter, you can just turn the knob in the front, and then the game gets louder, the explosions are louder, or, you know, if the game is too loud and your friends are, you know, saying something really important, something really strategic, and you just want to hear them better, then you can make the game quieter and then make your friends louder. Really nice, really cool controls. It looks really awesome as well with all this fancy RGB. You know, one thing I can say about the AM6 is I'm giving this one to my brother. I just borrowed it back from him right now, but my brother loves this, and my younger brother, he's about 14 years old. I gave him both mics. I said, hey, which one do you prefer? And he preferred the AM6, and his friend also preferred the AM6 because he was using it without a boom arm, and he just had it on his desk. And the moment I gave him the AM8 over here, his friend was like, oh, no, what are you doing? Get the other mic back. What is this? You know, his friend wasn't happy. My personal opinion on the matter is I prefer the AM8. It makes my voice sound better, and I do intend to use it. I do use microphones with a boom arm as well, and so I keep the mic close to me. So I like how that sounds. And if you do want to know more, I do have individual written reviews for both of these microphones over on our website, www.virtuup.com. So links for that will be down in the description down below. And if you are considering buying one of these, if you are considering purchasing one of these microphones, I do have my AliExpress affiliate links down below. Clicking on those and buying something, even if it's not these mics, just helps to support this channel, helps to support me. So thank you, and hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care.